Brisbane and welcome to Angling Info. Hi and welcome to Angling Info. Today we're on Lindholme Lakes. We're on the Benny's pond today, and basically we're going to do a bit of edge fishing. So obviously not a lot of people think that edge fishing is something to think about in winter, but when you're fishing Lindholme and a lot of these commercials, it fishes really deadly down the edge. I'm actually with Neil, who's one of the guys on Facebook and fishes local and fishes a lot of matches down at Lindholme's, and he's basically started to fish this a lot through winter, and it's quite a deadly technique. So what we've done is we've plumbed up just literally top 2 plus 1 section really. We've plumbed up down there, and we're just fishing an 013 main line to an 010 bottom, and we've plumbed it to dead depth, and then we've just come up about 6 inches off bottom. And because fish are starting to come up on bottom, come off the bottom, I'd recommend starting obviously on the bottom, and see we've picked up quite a few fish on there, but we just come up a bit because we're getting a few liners, so they're obviously up in the water. We've just got a really small little frenzy float, just nice and stable and really quick response, with a thick bristle, soft stem, so it's if you get smashed through rushes, it don't really do anything to your float. All I've got is a size 18s PR27 hook from Preston's, so let's get some corn on and give it a go. I've blended a couple of tins up, and I'm using that for a bit of feed and some loose fed corn as well. So I'm just giving like a few finger size bit of blended corn and a couple of pieces every couple of casts. See if there's anything knocking about. We've set another rig up which we're hoping is going to come shallow a bit later on, fishing in front of us about 5 sections out, and there we go, straight away into a fish. You obviously see it's it works pretty well this time, even at this time of year. So if you imagine what it's going to be like when it's out of season, when it's in season, sorry, it's pretty deadly to say the least. So most of the fish in here, you know, F1s. There's carp and barbel and things like that in there, but most of them are, you know, for about this 12 ounce up to a couple of pounds, that kind of size. Just really quick, really intense fishing really. It's all about who can get the rig in water fast enough, and I can hear Neil outside of me bagging up, so I know that there's plenty in his swim as well. So we'll get another grain of corn on, and so we're just nicking that corn just in the edge of the corn, so you know, as soon as a fish grab hold of it, they get a good hook hold. They've got plenty of hook showing, even though it's a tiny 18s. So just feed a little bit of corn, a little bit of slop. You can just fish straight corn if you feed straight corn. I think that's what Neil's fishing the other side. Don't really matter. It's just about getting that bait in and keeping fish in your swim. And again, straight away that went, so we'll get it back in there. Make sure whilst you're fishing this line that you keep feeding that line in front of you, just using fishery pellets to keep that line going in front of us. Make sure you keep lifting and dropping your rig. A couple of more grains of sweet corn in with it. Need to be busy all the time. And there we go, into another fish. Have a policy at Lindholme that every fish you hook, you must net them. So it's important for fish welfare, especially with how many of these fish are getting caught. It's important that, you know, that they're getting treated properly. So that, you can see it's a pretty dangerous method. So what we'll do is just keep repeating that process. just nicking that hook on. Really is about getting out there as fast as you can and keeping that fish and that feed going in, keeping the fish competing. So like I said before, you've got that and you're just feeding your line out in front of you. A lot of venues like this, you don't have to fish too far out. They have a quite steep shelf, usually, you know, not too far, and your top kit's out in front of you again, straight into another fish. This one feels slightly bigger, and you know, it's just about keeping that feed going in and keeping them fish competing. If you noticed, every fish is just hooked perfectly in the bottom lip. Just a sign that, you know, that the rig's working as it should be, and that, you know, you're reading those bites pretty, you know, sharp bites, quick bites on for F1 fishing this, because sometimes they can be quite delicate biters, F1s, but these commercials that are stock full like this one, there's no worry with the type of bites that you get in here. It's you know, the rocket straight under. Like I say, you don't really need any more sections out, but it's always good to have those sections to hand, because you never know if you hook a bonus fish. There's some bigger fish in here, and if you do need it, we're fishing light gear here. You know, light elastics, like 10 elastics, 010s, and 10 hollows and stuff like that. So, you know, it's light gear that we're using, and like low diameter hook links as well. There's no need for anything stronger than that. If you've got balance gear, that's what it's about, balancing your tackle rather than having heavy lines and heavy elastics. Not really needed that much nowadays with how strong lines are with low diameter. Not for this kind of work. So again, straight away, that float. It's about repeating that process, being fast and efficient. Everything you've got's to hand. And again, nicely hooked in the lip. Right, so now what we're going to do is check that line in front of us. Neil's catching well on it outside of me. We've been feeding that up as well as this margin swim that we've been catching on. So we've got an 8 to 10 on, 013 again, and to a PR36 18 with a band on, and just a 4mm pellet. All as shot are grouped underneath the float. Cocks the float straight away, and we just left ourselves with a bit of line in order to able to flick that float over the top. Important that you've Dacron connector on for this kind of thing, otherwise you end up getting a lot of tangles. There we go, straight into a fish. Just upped itself, that one, on that really light elastic. Got that 10 elastic on, that 8 to 10 map hollow. It's really light, but it's brilliant for this shallow fishing. They just hook the self. A nice little F1. Good thing about when you're fishing these banded pellets as well, especially in like your matches and stuff, it stays on, and it's just speed to get back out there. So put that one in net, see if we can get ourselves back out there. Now hopefully start to get the fish competing a bit now. Obviously, like I say, Neil fishing at side of him is having one a drop. He's been feeding it well, this swim at side of him, and It's got it absolutely buzzing at side of me here. But like I say, this is not, it's not normally a winter method, fishing 1.5 to 2 foot deep, but it's certainly playing its course today. Yep.
Try that one, that rig. And then Brennan Dibble. Clear one.
Just into this other fish here. Right, they're starting to come up really in water now, so we've just changed over to a little crystal dibber float, kindly donated by Neil next door, just to make it so the fish can't see it as easy, with us fishing so shallow, especially with us obviously being in winter. Into another fish. Nice F1. Nicely in the lip. So the little F1 there, good little weight building fish. Obviously it's a couple of methods that work really well. Obviously these guys that fish Lindholme are really well versed in them, and you know, absolutely Neil is emptying the pond at side of me. So you know, it's not don't have to be just summer. You shouldn't neglect your margin swims and, you know, and shallow fishing in winter. I mean, it's about 13 degrees today, but as you can see, they're catching them in 1.5 to 2 foot of water. So these commercials can be prolific all year round, especially at Lindholme in itself. So you know, give these methods a try. Obviously, come down and give it a go for yourself at Lindholme's, and you know, these methods are great for summer also. So enjoy in Tightlands.